In all my heart, I believe that today is a very special day to each and every one of us. We are here today because of our past that was essential for our future. My journey here begins in 1983, where I spent my first 8 years of school. I was part of the group made up of more than 30 bright young boys and girls who formed the very first class during the establishment of the school. While some are strangers to one, others are not. Some I have met in a family gathering or at mess. I was only 6 years old, and so many of my classmates. On our first morning, we were told to stand in a straight 2 lines. The boys pompously stood with their blue shirts and white shirts. The girls with a green check dress, white shirt and green tie. As we stood with our uniforms, a striking yet decent dressed woman presented herself to address us. Sister Gloria, with her full Catholic nun attire, stood with discipline and authority elevated by 3 steps high concrete doorway to a partly wooden classroom. She was just a tiny Philippine nun, barely seen from the last child in line, if she had not stepped into that old constructed to elevate herself. Yet, she spoke to us with such a confident voice full of adoration. Instantly, she commanded our respect and obedience. A few months before the opening of the school, a team led by Father Josh Koikal, together with the members of the Nosori Catholic Parish and friends, worked hand in hand to turn an old slaughterhouse into a classroom by starting of the school year in 1983. They worked voluntarily from the morning to late into the night. They worked dedicatedly, motivated by St. Joseph himself, and embraced the motto, "To work is to pray." Together they provide a classroom that became the first classroom of St. Joseph the Worker Primary School. Our classroom was actually an old remnant of a building in the middle of a bush that once belonged to Wallis Butchery Limited. Today the building is still playing a vital role within the school compound, serving as a classroom. I count myself fortunate to be part of the first batch of students that came from all walks of life to be part of this family in 1983. Some of us then were mere sons and daughters of farmers up in Wenimbuku. A few came from Makoi area, but the majority came from the Nosori area, Tonga and Waiketi villages. We also have a few students who joined us from the Anglican run, often at St. Christopher's Home in Naulu, as well as from the Housing Assistance Relief Trust of the government, commonly known as the Heart in Nakasi. We first met here as strangers, yet we were imparted in the same set of values of life as we grew up together. We were not only educated, but molded for the future by teachers who do not only taught us the syllabus of the education of ministry, but every life's values and principles reflected by the Catholic Church. Early morning prayers were an essential part of our normal school days, and so was the checking of our fingernails. Sometimes it could be fun, but sometimes not. I am sure that you all understand what I speak of. I am also sure that you will agree with me that those years of growing up together in this school make up some of the best memories of our life. For us back then, technology was merely not exist. Many of us came from homes where kerosene lamps and open fire cookings was part of our daily living. Here in school, we learned as much as we could in and outside the classroom. During recess and lunchtime, we would quickly enjoy our 30 cents a meal to make time to entertain ourselves with games such as Zuru, hopscotch, hide and seek, play cowboys, butterfly catching, bottle tops fights, and many more. Some of us were actually really good at those games and gained the respect of fellow students. I doubt other teachers had any idea of the heritage formed during those extracurricular activities. We grew up and become so attached to one another as a family. My brothers and sisters, I'm not here to bore you with my stories from the past, but to remind you all of the humble beginning of our beloved school. A school that started with a mere 30 students in 1983 to one of the most favored primary schools along the Nosori-Suba corridor, generating close to 100 graduates a year. A school where we met as strangers, yet separated as friends. A school that laid the foundation of our growing up and prepared us for our future. A few classmates of mine was brought up alone by his grandfather at the Nakaisi Hut. Is now a school teacher in Honolulu. Another who was brought up by his grandmother in Waikete village is now a serving member of the Royal British Navy living in the UK. Many more have established themselves well locally, and many others have served their families well abroad since the first batch of graduates from the school in 1990. By the looks of many of you here today, I am certain that you are all reaping the rewards of the fine early childhood upbringing of St. Joseph the Worker Primary School. We are all a product of this school, and I salute you all for making it this far in life. After 36 years of school establishment, we officially gathered here today as friends and as extensive members of the St. Joseph the Worker Primary School family. Our Ndambebata and Talanoa session today is an outcome of a small gathering made up by few pioneers a couple of months back in Nosori. We initially planned to pay a visit and reminisce in our schools here, but overwhelming response from other year groups have prompted these inclusive meetings. Once again, thank you so much for making it here today. I have faith that we will bear the same heartbeat in creating this extensive family together. I am pleased at the same time, honored to be elected by my fellow pioneer students to be the first president of the movement that we now have named the St. Joseph the Worker Primary School Alumni. The movement that every ex-student of the school can and should be part of. The first head boy of the school, Master Leone Manua, a serving school teacher in Singotoka, has been elected as a vice president. Mrs. Paseva King, seated here in front of me, has been elected as a secretary of alumni, and Mrs. Anandoniwalu as a treasurer. The ladies will be assisted by Mrs. Eleanor Bainiwalu, our mistress of ceremony today from Nabuso, and Mrs. Susana Lomoloma. Mrs. Susana was the first head girl of our school, and she's from Reo. Can give her a round of applause. She's rather like this. Your pioneers have drawn up a constitution to guide us forward and a newly opened bank account dedicated to the alumni. So brothers and sisters, please send in an email to our official email address sjwpsalumni1983@gmail.com so that you can get a copy of our constitution as well as other updates. I also hope that we are all finding our Facebook page entertaining as well as enlightening. Let's all use the platform to reconnect, rekindle the bonds formed years ago in this very school, and to keep us informed of the activities of the alumni. That being said, my brothers and sisters, I urge us all to make today an opportunity to reflect on our past and to embrace our future. I am sure we all have the memorable moments of this institution. So from today onwards, let's all try to make new friends, reach out and connect to fellow ex-students who may not part of your year. Share a joke, a memory, share a bowl of wangona, and a Fijian family way. Your older brothers and sisters, together with their respective families, have made it out of their way to prepare a meal for you all, which we want to enjoy too. And while you are at it, please look around the school. Take a moment to ponder on what we can get together to make this school even better place where one will learn and grow. What can we do together to give back to the school that has given us so much? May God bless you.